Now, Tiger fans, this might be the last Tyler Sonsie video that I make. It also might not be the last Tyler Sonsie related video I make, depending on how things pan out over the next month or so. And at the risk of it sounding like a broken record, play him in the midfield, in the seniors, please, for the love of God. We need to see if this will work. I don't know how many more times we can all see this and say this. It's getting really, really frustrating now because, again, Tyler Sonsie puts in a massive performance against the Bombers at the VFL. 37 disposals, 7 marks, 8 tackles, 4 clearances, and a goal from about 55. He had a big breeze in his back, to be fair, with that kick, but he still slotted it and was just absolutely everywhere. And that is on the back of a game against North Melbourne the week before, where he had another 37 disposals, 3 marks, 7 tackles, and 9 clearances. So he's had over 70 disposals in 2 games. He's had about 15 tackles in across both games as well. And I guess the only thing that we could all think of as the reason why he's not played AFL minutes in the midfield is the defensive side of his game. And if you're putting out 7 tackles and 9 tackles in consecutive games, surely that ticks that box in some way, shape or form. And look, I know we've got Tim Taranto and Jacob Hopper. McIntosh is in there. And Jack Ross, Kane McAuliffe, who I don't want it to be at Kane McAuliffe's expense. Let me make that very clear straight off the top because I really enjoy what Kane McAuliffe's doing. I just think, again, we owe it to ourselves to find out if this will translate into AFL performances at some level. The 2022 finals game where he played some midfield time suggests that it actually might. So there's actually already a little bit of proof there that he was one of our better midfielders performed a couple of years ago. I just can't understand why we haven't done it yet. And I'm sure the club have got a perfectly valid reason as to why. And you know what? They don't really owe us the explanation if we're being totally honest. But geez, it's frustrating when you see a guy racking up that many disposals and being that dominant at VFL level that he doesn't get the chance in that position that he's good at AFL. Like, he's plying his craft as a genuine ball-winning midfielder and then goes to the AFL and does nothing of the sort. Plays as a half forward, which is a really tricky role. And in a lot of ways, it's a very specialised role. And I've said it before, I feel bad for the kid because he's not doing much wrong. And then you see that interview post-game, and I guess full credit to the VFL journo for asking the hard-hitting questions, but he clearly loves the club and loves playing for Richmond, but I don't think it's so clear if he's going to be here next year or not. Like, I'm just not sure what else he has to do. So it's going to be a fascinating selection this week for the GWS game. We're obviously going to be missing Sam Lawler and Thompson Dow for a little bit of time after last week, which is obviously very disappointing. But to me, that now presents the perfect opportunity to do this. Let's execute this right now and get him into the mix and see what happens. So without Dow and without Lawler, obviously they aren't getting massive amount of centre-back attendances, but someone like Camden McIntosh is. And I know I've been a big fan of that as well, but we've seen what that's like. We've seen how that works now. And I think now we can maybe shift Camden back to the wing because Dow's been taking the wing spot for a little bit too. So Camden can go back there. And Tyler Sonsie can now slot into the midfield spot to see how this works. Put him in there with Hopper and Taranto. Let's see what the kid can do. He can rotate. He can swap out with McAuliffe. McAuliffe can start on the bench or half forward. Or Sonsie can start on the bench if you want McAuliffe to start on the ground. I don't care which way you work that part. Just when Tyler Sonsie sets foot onto that ground, make sure it is in the middle of the park where the ball is being thrown up or bounced up. Let's see what he can do. Leave him there for 4 quarters over a couple of weeks. Let's see what eventuates, because if we don't do this and he explores opportunities elsewhere and he starts playing well in the midfield for another AFL club, I will be pissed. And so will a lot of other supporters. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people on the other side of the fence saying, "Oh, he clearly just can't cut it at AFL level." Maybe we don't actually know the answer. I don't think that statement can be made with backing as a midfielder. As a half forward, 100%. He's not playing well as a half forward. I'll give you that. But he's not a half forward. He's a midfielder. His draft profile says he's a midfielder. His draft stock said that he's one of the best inside winning midfielders in the draft combine they had, and that's why he was drafted, to extract the ball and be an inside-outside mid, which we're not using him as. So while he's not playing exceptionally well as a half forward, he's not training as a half forward, and he's not playing in the VFL as a half forward. So he's not able to apply what he knows to do best at the highest level. And I get the point that, you know, if you get a shot at AFL level, you need to be somewhat adaptive and things like that. I get all that. But we're at a moment in time where we're not playing finals. We're in a really big development phase. We need to find out what players can offer us the most in certain spots. And whilst I love and admire what Taranto and Hopper and co do in the midfield, we've all said it for many, many weeks that we still miss that bit of X factor, that bit of speed, that bit of outside ball use. And we just haven't tried anything else there to see if anyone can do that. McAuliffe does add a bit of that, so I love seeing him there. But let's just see what Sonsie can do for us, please. We have to just make sure that we tick all the boxes before any other decisions are made on his future at the club. Because if he doesn't play AFL this week, mark my words, he'll play VFL again next week, and he'll rack up another 25, 35 touches and do it all again. Yeah, it's a frustrating one, and I at the risk of sounding like a broken record, but I just think we're robbing ourselves a bit here, and we've got to see it happen sooner or later. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you want to see Tyler Sonsie in the midfield? How do you think it could happen? At whose expense might it be at? Maybe Taranto spends some time at half forward as well, which he's not unfamiliar with. He did play that role at AFL level successfully, might I add, for the Giants. So maybe there's got to be some balance there as well to see if this can actually work for us. Because at the end of the day, it's all about trying to bettering our own team. We're not like, it helps Sonsie as well, but as a club, it might help us get better results from the midfield because we are getting smashed at stoppages currently. So we need to try something to fix that up. And this could be one of those things. But yeah, let us know what you think in the comments below. I'm very passionate about this topic, as you can tell. I just don't like not knowing the final answer for things when it's staring us right in the face, seemingly. But yeah, let us know, and we'll see what happens this week against the Giants, if he's picked or not, and we'll see if he gets some midfield time from there.